Another cool thing is being able to visualize both the animated clock and me together at the same time. And I did have to animate this. Yeah, that was fun.
Hey guys, welcome to our behind the scenes for getting out of bed. So glad those butterflies were actually there on location. I'm just kidding.
Yes, they're real butterflies. Okay, no one noticed, but it's wearing a top hat.
Oh, I forgot, to be honest.
We didn't really make it look that visible, because we could have had it sticking out this way more, but, you know.
We basically constantly forget that the GoPro's a wide-angle lens, and a lot of details are too far away.
But yes, the butterflies are wearing top hats.
Yes,
so now
you should know.
Now you know. This is a really weird episode. Like we had this idea really early on, and then this is episode like 28.
Yeah.
We had this idea like around episode 10, I want to say.
Yeah,
9
it was.
Or 10.
It went through iterations, but it definitely wasn't one of our earlier ideas. I'm not sure what kept us from doing it. I think we just kind of...
We didn't have access to a bedroom.
Right. So that's one of the main reasons.
Yeah. But we finally got access to this empty bedroom.
I think it was no access to bedroom, and it was a bit too ambitious at the time. Like, we were a bit worried about it.
Yeah. But we got more comfortable with our visual effects skills and creating things we needed, especially for this scene, which is one of my favorite scenes.
We've got some cool behind the scenes to show you for this one. And I made the music for this episode too. So before we even had the script for this, I wrote 3 pieces of music. I wrote like dream piece, full sequence. I wrote weird quirky moment, and then I wrote like the nightmare music. So it's really, most music we don't use like our own, but this was our own music.
So how we did this scene, right? So we had a character come in, grab the bag out of your hands.
By character,
the clock character. Come in, grab the bag out of your hands, struggle with you with it, throw it down, and start smashing it on the ground. Like, how does one do such a thing? Well, I had to grab it with my tongs.
So in the raw plate, which we're going to show you here.
Yep.
Can we make the video a little bigger too?
Yeah, we can do that. How do you do that?
Just stretch the screen.
Sure.
Yeah. We've only been using this program for years.
Yeah, I don't ever need to do that. I just click this button, what is it, F12? It's the tilde.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn this off and show you what it looks like without visual effects.
Yeah. Yep. So we had to basically remove you and the tongs for what looks like almost half or a third of the entire image, which was not easy.
Yeah, this took a while to...
This is the hardest shot for me.
It's one of the hardest shots we've done.
I had to replace the water. Where you're in the water, I had to replace the concrete. It's crazy.
I'll do some A/Bs of this. And you even have the water up here animated. Like it took a section of water and put it over here because
you can see a small
you can
feathering between the layers.
There's little inconsistencies and errors in here, but it's not really noticeable when you're watching it.
Yeah, exactly. I find it hilarious that
we tried to do this originally by me pulling a string that was attached to the bag, but we couldn't really get the violence on the bag that we wanted, and the only way we could think of doing it in the short amount of time we had was just to have me grab it with the tongs and slap it up and down.
And it worked better, to be honest. The tongs method was a better end result for the bread.
Yeah, let's see. We shot this one a couple times. This is the first location we shot on.
Yeah, this is a much dirtier park.
You can kind of see the string off to the left over here. We had seagulls for this one versus ducks for the other one, and these seagulls were like ravenous.
Yeah.
It wasn't cute. There was like poo everywhere.
We were hoping for ducks. We got mangy seagulls.
Yeah, mangy seagulls that didn't.
And then of course some pigeons.
A few pigeons were
good
trying
measure.
to compete who can't. And then so I pulled the string and we like taped it to the bottom of the bag, and because I had to pull it so hard, it just came off.
And then there's all this tape on the bottom. Yeah, it's a weird first attempt.
Yeah, and just people everywhere. Like, so hard to film this scene like at a park, you
Yeah.
know, and not get interrupted.
It's weird because we don't have permits, we don't have permission, we just sort of have to work around the environment. That's
Yeah,
it.
just go guerrilla film it.
Yeah.
Um, and then this wasn't even like filmed right. The way that
Yeah.
you're stomping, like
So this is a good example. There's a lot of times where we reshoot stuff.
yeah, we have to go reshoot it because it didn't work.
Yeah. Not the funnest, most fun, but
Let's see, 15, 11. This one is another attempt. So we went to a different another location.
I don't know what those things
This is
are.
out like on the peninsula of this park.
All right. Is it recording?
And I like this view a lot more.
Yeah.
But the
More
birds
dreamy.
here are geese and these little pygmy things, and they're like less scared of us. So
Yeah.
when I come in to try and scare them away, it's like doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm like, go away, and they're like, what are you
can't
doing?
Scare them away at all. Okay. I think you need to jump and stomp. I just hit the bird on the side.
Yeah, so these birds are literally so complacent.
It doesn't do anything. It has no effect.
I hit them in the head with bread, and they're just like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And we learned our lesson not to throw this bread to the ducks after we got several comments that were saying, you know,
Well,
bread's not good for the
I don't.
ducks.
It's hard to say.
We
We
didn't-
didn't do anything harmful.
I mean, we didn't throw too much, but
No.
if you're not aware, it's apparently not very good to throw bread to ducks. It's not good for their digestive systems.
Yeah.
It's better to throw seed, but I've always been raised to throw bread, and I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's a minimal amount of harm. I think it's like giving them a McDonald's cheeseburger versus like a
Yeah,
Angus
the idea
steak.
is you don't want to give them a taste for it because then it's a very low nutritional value in it, and it
Yeah.
fills them up. And anyways, so yeah, couldn't scare those birds away.
Nope.
What's next? So yeah, you're going through different nightmares, I guess, is what
Yeah.
the whole point of this episode is, like back and forth into your dreams. All right, so next is you find yourself in a beautiful field with a nice sunset.
Fun fact: this was just a 360-degree image that we found. That I forgot about this, but it worked really well. If you watch, we slowly blend into the footage. Right, you can see up the corner.
Yeah, there's a blend point here.
It's
you
a
can see.
very subtle blend, but the real shot was like this dirty old forest.
Yeah, it was really hard to. We couldn't find like real location that felt like, you know, beautiful, mystical.
At least not within a relatively good drive.
Yeah, not within a relatively soon. We wanted to go to like a giant field of flowers.
Yeah. Apparently they
and it
don't
was
exist
like a
nearby.
2-hour drive away or
Yeah.
something, and at this point during making episodes, we were like really trying to pump these out as fast as possible, and we just had like, let's pick a 360 image and sort of fake the transition through it.
Yeah, and it worked.
I added footsteps. It feels like you're moving through it, and it was very brief. And there's a flower, and it's glowing, and it's nice. And, oh, great! You know, my dream's nice. And then the clock shows up again, except this time it's a full-blown like anthropomorphic clock.
I had fun making this music too.
Yep, made that too.
Took inspiration from like old horror classics.
And this is the way we did this is.
This is hilarious.
I guess it's just me with a costume.
Yeah, you ran around. You ran around the park like this. It was glorious.
We had an audience too. There's like 3 kids who
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
up and like, we're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh,
We're making an alarm clock nightmare.
yeah, we're buttered side down. You can check out our channel here. You're free to watch if you want. We
Yeah.
actually have them they're visible in here somewhere.
I think we lost 3 subscribers that day.
Yeah, right. So that was really interesting.
Oh, and so we have a cool video here as well, just showing the 3D sort of track over top. So here you can kind of see, you can scrub through this if you want. You can kind of see a 3D model that represents the body, and then where the clock is, so the clock resting over the overall shape, and then mitten shapes to track the hand movements. So that way we get reflections and things.
Right. Yeah. The lengths you went to.
This
like,
is a very complex episode.
The point was to in the glass screen of the clock
Yeah.
to reflect the white gloves
Exactly.
into the clock. Did that come through?
I think it did. It's so subtle, but sometimes you get overwhelmed by the little
I
details.
see that.
Let's check. I mean, it's pretty crushed, the blacks, but let's see. You might see it better. You probably have to frame by frame, to be
I
honest.
think it might have gotten lost in the color grading.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it's
you
right
see
there.
it.
It's right there.
Yeah, you see them
see the
here.
gloves.
It's just, yeah. So it's reflecting a 360 image of the
Yep.
environment, and it's also reflecting the black arm and gloves and white gloves
Yep,
here.
I did arms and gloves. I did, yeah.
And that's the shadow, but yeah, it's that's pretty cool. That's a great little detail that you
I mean,
added.
it reads. It's subtle, but it reads.
Another cool thing is being able to visualize both the animated clock and me together at
yeah.
the same time. And I did have to animate this. After you built it, you added the arms to
Right,
the
right.
clock, and then I rigged it up with these controls, and I animated it.
It's crazy just because seeing the two together, it's so confusing.
I know. This took probably like 5 days of animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. So you've beaten your clock to shreds. No longer works, which was actually kind of dangerous. I think you were picking it up a couple times with it still
Yeah.
plugged in, and you toss it into this giant pile of clocks.
Oh look, an SCP logo that nobody has noticed yet.
You throw that in there.
I think it's too small.
Yeah, everybody noticed the one on the pickles.
Oh
episode.
yeah, that was very
It's, like,
obvious.
super obvious, but this one is a little bit more subtle. And you know, there is a reason why we put those in there.
Yeah.
We might reveal later. But there is a before and after of that too. We did create a CG pile of clocks because we could not buy 100 of these things and break them.
Yep, exactly.
This is the only way we could think of to do this gag.
And honestly, I think it worked pretty
Yeah.
well.
It looks fine. I mean, a lot of people actually thought it was real.
Yeah.
We can tell it's not real.
Yeah, it's easy for us to tell.
You know, I think we did a fine job on that. It's fine. We did that very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Last but not least, the return of the clock.
yeah.
Was I awake or was I
Were
asleep?
you asleep or awake this time? Who knows? It's kind of ambiguous. Just me again with a bat.
Yeah. That's actually what happens when I don't perform correctly.
Yeah, I come at him with a bat in a costume.
Yes.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Pretty weird episode, honestly, considering like everything else we've made. Like when you enter the dreams of your character's head, it just gets weird.
It's the episodes are already weird, then the dreams are weirder.
It gives us excuses to just be super weird,
Yep.
I guess,
And
rather than
I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably come back someday and do another
I'm
episode.
sure we'll
inside your
re-enter
head.
our characters' dreams.
But until then, this is the nightmare episode.
Yeah.
So that's all.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Yep. Take care. Bye.